Hey guys, Akil here, back in the flesh for another video episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. And today, we're going to talk about the Devon Principle and the major effect that it will have on your trading. Now, before we hop in, do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, take a second to hit that like button. If you're listening to this or watching this on Spotify or Apple, leave me a rating or a review if you haven't done so already. You can easily do that while the podcast is playing to show your support. So, what is the Devon Principle? Well, I'm going to explain that in a little bit, but it's something that I learned from Dr. Brett Steenbarger. And I know we have many new traders listening to the Trading Coach Podcast. Thank you for joining. If you haven't heard of Dr. Brett Steenbarger, he's pretty much the most renowned kind of person on trading psychology in our industry. He's written a handful of books. I'm going to try to remember a few off my head. I think it's called The Psychology of Trading, Trading Psychology 2.0, The Daily Trading Coach, and there's many more that I'm not recalling at the time and don't feel like Googling to tell you guys. But if you are a newer trader, even a seasoned vet, if you haven't heard of him already, I recommend you putting some of these books on your to-read list. We know how important psychology is to trading performance. Speaking of which, he does a private lesson on our Tier 1 trading platform as well. So for you guys that are members, when you get to that trading psychology section, you're going to see something really cool by him and Mike Bellafiore and kind of a behind the scenes kind of private lesson that he did for SMB Capital. Now, let's talk about this Devon Principle. So the Devon Principle is named after Dr. Brett Steenbarger's daughter, Devon. And it all started pretty much by him analyzing and doing experiments on his kids, as everyone often does, right? About their behavior and their motivation and their love, fulfillment, and all that stuff. I'll kind of make it as simple as possible for you. His daughter was not very motivated to do math, so she would struggle doing like math work, and every time she'd have math homework, she'd come to him and be like, hey, I'm struggling, I can't seem to get it done, and then the negative talk starts, coming in, like I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm lazy, and fun stuff like that. And one of the days she came to his office with the same old kind of, man, I'm lazy, I can't believe I haven't done this yet, I'm so bad, all the negative talk. And then right after, she got an email or a call showing interest in her, I guess, auditioning for a movie. She was a model, and I think this was one of the first maybe like potential roles that she had. And the call said, hey, can you get me a cover letter and blah, 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 portfolio, all that fun stuff. And she went back into her room, came back with the cover letter, let her dad proofread it, and he said it was the most amazing thing he ever saw. And again, this guy is a writer per all the books I just told you about. So if he's saying it's well written, you know it's well written. And what caught his interest was the fact that, well, when it came to the math homework, right, it took her so long, she procrastinated, she was so lazy, and she was so negative about herself. How come when the acting job came up, she got everything done, boom, right away, and it was the best piece of work that she ever completed? And long story short, he came to the conclusion that when we do the things that we like to do, we are more fulfilled, and because we're more fulfilled, we are more motivated, and we do a better job of that. When we're tasked with doing things that we're not naturally good at or not fulfilled by, we tend to do a worse job at it, and then some of those negative thoughts tend to creep in. And let me just read you a blurb from the blog post where he first mentioned this. Give me a second to find it. I'll edit this out, right? He said that, I'm going to just read this verbatim, right? Everything we do in life, our work, recreation, relationships, is a mirror. It reflects an image of ourselves back to us. If we're doing wrong things in life, the mirror reflects a distorted image. Over time, we begin to mistake that image for reality. We really do think of ourselves as lazy and incompetent, going back to kind of what his daughter initially brought to him about the math homework. When we do the work we're meant to do, however, the mirror reflects the best of who we are. Over time, we eternalize that image and the pride and confidence that go with it. People who are successful in life and in the markets find positive mirrors. They have found markets and ways of trading that reflect back to them and their unique skills and talents. They enjoy the relationships that reflect love, care, respect, and as a result, they feel those things themselves. You are what you eat is the old saying. The Devon Principle says that we're always eating life experience. We're always internalizing what our activities reflect to us, and we will always live up to that image of our reflection. So I say to you what I said to Devon. There is some sphere of life in which you already are the person you want to be. The key is defining those activities and those relationships and organizing your time around them. Find the trading where you're at your best and make that your specialty. Or maybe trading isn't where you're at your best. Perhaps a far better mirror awaits you. The Devon Principle points out that how you feel about yourself is not simply the result of something inside of you. It's a function of the relationship you have with your activities, what you're actually doing in life. Do the right things and you will be the hero of your own life story. So let's work this into trading specifically, because this actually sums up something that Jason and myself have made a core principle on our trading platform. So I've always believed that in order to be a consistently profitable trader, you have to somewhat enjoy what you're doing or enjoy kind of the result of what you're doing, right? So I actually love the markets. I think you do have to have passion for the markets to kind of withstand the ups and downs. There's some debate about that. We had a good roundtable discussion years ago on the Trading Coach podcast where some of my former business partners thought otherwise, and that's up for debate. Maybe we can revisit that at a later time. But I do think that you have to enjoy and be passionate about whatever you're doing in life to be the best at it. And the same thing goes for your trading strategy. So, imagine yourself being a new trader that came onto the tier 1 trading platform. Here's the first thing that we advise you to do. I say go through the courses in the order in which they're laid out. And our courses go from the very basics of teaching kind of what a pip is and a tick and broker and all that fun stuff, all the way to the complicated. We're talking, specific strategies, how the market moves, trading psychology, money management, everything you can imagine that you need to learn as a trader. However, the first time through, I highly advise that you don't go through the course kind of looking to lock in on a strategy and back test it and trade it. The first time is just kind of an observation, right? This is the whole buffet thing I always mention, where you take a little lap around the buffet, you see what's to offer, and you kind of get a feel of hey, what is, what's for me? What do I like? And then once you kind of understand what you like, then you dig deeper into it. So when it comes to trading specifically, this is kind of figuring out what type of trader you are. Are you a fundamental trader? Are you a technical trader? If you're a technical trader, are you price action? Are you indicator based, right? Are you day trading? Are you higher time frame trading? Are you trend trading? Are you counter trend trading, right? Trying to discover all these answers. And it takes just playing around to do it, right? There's no secret to discovering what type of trader you are. It literally takes you kind of playing around with something and kind of reflecting on your own feelings of hey, I kind of like this, or oh no, I'm highly against this, or hey man, this felt good, or man, this was really hard to pick up. I'll give you some personal stories of myself, right? Because I did all types of things. At the beginning of my trading career, once I got trained, I was still on the hunt for the quickest kind of strategy that I can pick up and trade. I didn't care about matching it to my personality. I didn't care about whether I liked it, whether I believed in it or not. I just wanted the easiest thing that I can pick up, plug and play, and start making some money. And what I discovered early on is that when I traded systems and strategies that didn't align with my beliefs, I never really lasted long in them, right? I traded a trend continuation strategy very, very early on in my career. This was kind of the trend is your friend type of deal where we'd kind of, we'd hop onto the big moves, and it was indicator based. So it wasn't any price action. It was 3 different indicators. And when I got 3 different signals at the same time, boom, fire off the trade. It was literally a green arrow that would appear on my chart when it was time to buy, and a red arrow that appeared on my chart when it was time to sell. And again, you can see why I flocked to this. I didn't have to do anything. I just, buy when it's green, sell when it's red. And of course, naive Akil thought it would be as simple as that. I didn't take trading psychology into account. And what would happen is pretty much I would get signals with this strategy that I personally didn't believe in. And then I would have to hold these trades for long periods of times. And at the entire time I was fighting myself, right? Where I'm like, why am I 300 pips up and not taking profit? Why do I have to let it ride? Why? Oh, it's coming back against me. Why do I have to stay in it? Why? And pretty much long story short, I would end up sabotaging my trading because I have psychological breakdowns. And it took me a long time and a lot of conversations with my trading mentor to understand that my personality and my belief system wasn't for trend continuation trading. My personality, my belief system was more for counter trend based trading, where I'm looking for quick reversals in, out, and boom, on to the next one. And not saying that it has to be that for you. This is the journey of you figuring out yourself. But for me, that was it. And then once I locked into that style, I became a much better trader, not just technically on the charts, but psychologically in the mind as well. I made less mistakes. I actually believed in what I was doing. Another thing that came with that is because I believed in it and because I actually liked what I was trading, I was passionate about that style of structure and price action trading versus just blindly following a system to make the money, baby, right? Ooh, first one of 2025, money, baby, right? I was more motivated to dig deeper into the strategy. So going back to that initial strategy, I never dug in deeper than what was at face value, right? Mentor said, here were the rules, X, Y, Z. I just followed them. I back tested them, but I never kind of experimented. I never added filters. I never did this. I never did that. I just followed it blindly because I wasn't really motivated to test. Once I got into price action trading and I started doing back testing in that kind of sphere, because I was so motivated, because I loved kind of the games that I was playing on the chart, or the games that the market plays on the chart, I was motivated to dig deeper into those strategies to kind of answer these questions that I would have, like, ooh, is there a more aggressive way to enter? Is there a more aggressive way to exit? What if I added this filter? What if I added that filter? The idea wasn't even necessarily to make more money. It was just a pure interest and love for the game. It's very similar to sports, where it's like, I'm a sports nerd if you couldn't tell. And, I will sit back and watch like tactic videos on soccer games and football games and basketball games for no good reason. My wife's like, are you planning on being a coach in the NBA? I'm like, no, I just kind of like the X's and O's. So I like taking time out of my day to dig deeper into those things and acquire that knowledge. And when you do that in trading, lo and behold, you find some pretty cool things, and those pretty cool things help you to become a better trader. But that doesn't happen if you're not passionate about what you're doing. That doesn't happen if you don't love it. We have a trading strategy on the Tier 1 trading platform called the daily chart. It is an extremely simple trading strategy. It occurs on the daily chart. It is probably the simplest strategy that we have as far as like effort needed to trade it. Maybe the FTB is up there as well. FTB is in a lower time frame, but very, very close to that. And a lot of traders flock to this strategy because, one, it's on a daily chart. I only have to come in once a day and check the chart for like 3 minutes to see if it's there, and I can go on with the rest of my day. Two, it's very simple. There's not a lot of analysis that is needed to find those signals. So a lot of traders flock to it. And we have a whole kind of chat forum on traders kind of going into it and digging into it. And you can see the differences between traders that really like the strategy, like actually like it, and traders that are just going to it because it's quick and easy and they think that's the solution. The ones that are going into it because it's quick and easy, they run into a lot of trouble because it is a very difficult strategy, right? The edge is very, very small with the initial rules. Very, very, very tiny. It is profitable, but only by the smallest of margins. However, what we always encourage with any strategy is you want to go in and make it your own. You want to find those tweaks and those fixes and those filters that increase the profitability. Now, the traders that are just there to make money, the plug and play type of old school Akil traders, they're not dedicating a lot of time to doing it. They're testing it, results poor, next pair. They're testing it, results poor, next pair. They're testing it, and Akil, I got all right results. And it's like, well, did you go in and try to add anything? Did you tweak anything? Did you make any observations or discovery? No, not really. And it's hard for them to do so because just that motivation to do anything extra isn't really there. On the other hand, the traders that are really passionate about that system, man, they're doing all types of things. There's a whole forum on what they're doing and how it's a different filter for each pair. And they're actually the ones that are able to take the strategy, add whatever they're adding, create a portfolio for it, and trade it profitably. It reminds me of a conversation I had with my sister-in-law the other day where I was telling her, like, I coach track and field athletics, right? And I was telling her how many hours I coach for versus how many hours I get paid for. And she's like, well, why the hell do you do that? Like, why would you work all those hours if you're not getting paid for those hours? I'm like, well, because I love what I do. Like, I don't even know how much they pay me, but it's not enough to live off of, not nearly enough to live off of. But I'm willing to put in those extra hours to get the job done because I'm passionate about it. And that's the same type of passion and motivation you need to have for your strategy. So we can take this to a whole kind of outside trading experience as well as again, it does, revolve around different aspects of our life. But I want you to challenge yourself a little bit and really internalize this conversation. Whether you are someone that's currently trading, whether you're someone that's new into trading, I want you to think long and hard about what you're trading or what type of trading style you're pursuing, and do I want to align it with something that actually fulfills me and gives me motivation and passion, or do I want to just chase the money? Because I know that chasing the money, the quick fix, the plug and play, is going to seem like the shortest way to profits right now, but I can tell you from personal experience and years of working with hundreds of thousands of traders that the longer route actually gets you to your goal quicker. The shorter route usually doesn't get you to your goal at all, or if it does, you got to go through a lot of ups and downs and losses and whatnot before you kind of wisen up and get there. So instead of playing that game where you dance around with failing strategy after failing strategy after failing strategy, just take a little bit more time up front, find something you love, take time to investigate, to observe, to tweak and fix, and then boom, trade it and get on the path to profitability. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Let me know what you think. It's a very interesting topic. I'll leave a link to Dr. Brett Steenbarger's article on this in the description box below as well. Appreciate you guys joining me as always. Again, hit that like button if you haven't done so before you leave. Leave me a rating and a review to support the show. And until next time, plan your trade, trade your plan. Take care.